only the AfD can save Germany. This is a quote by Elon Musk that has sparked quite some outrage, especially in Germany and especially in the German political sphere and of course our mainstream media, to say the least. So in this video, I want to talk a little bit about some issues that in my opinion don't have enough international exposure, mainly because our media don't really report this stuff to an international audience. But I think it is really interesting to know, not only for US audience, but also international audience, what is happening, what's going on in Germany. Because we are going to have our German elections in next month on 23rd of February, and we're going to get a new government. Finally, a new government. I hope that it's not going to be Olaf Scholz again. And if you ask Elon Musk, he says, well, it's only the AfD that can save Germany. So let's talk a little bit about what's actually happening. Let's talk a little bit about democracy, and let's talk about some issues that are really going on here. And it's just 3 examples of what is really going wrong in Germany right now. The first one is all of the political foundations that are being funded directly, well, indirectly through the taxpayer, but directly through the state budget. These political foundations, every party has one. They are not really part of the party, but they are like really near the party. So they make contributions, they make studies, they offer help to these parties. And every party in Germany, every main party, has like one of these foundations. So this one, the Heinrich Böll Stiftung, is, for example, the foundation that's really near to the Greens. Yeah, the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung is from the Social Democrats, so socialists mainly, and from Olaf Scholz. And the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, for example, is from the CDU. And you know what's funny? That the foundation of the AfD, the Desiderius Erasmus Stiftung, it's not even listed here on this website. So that basically says it all. Because you know what? These parties, or these foundations from those parties, they receive 700 million euros approximately per year. And you can look up this information everywhere in the internet if you want. All of the different news websites, they write about it. It's about 700 million that they get directly through the budget. And you know how much the foundation from the AfD that's near to the AfD gets? You're right. Absolutely $0, €0. They receive absolutely nothing. So why is that? Well, it's because, well, the other parties, they're like right now saving democracy, you know. So yeah, they don't have any money left to spend on the AfD. So that's what the AfD did. They went to the highest court, the Bundesverfassungsgericht, which is like the Supreme Court in the US, and they sued the hell out of the other parties, and they actually won. So the Supreme Court said, okay guys, that's not like political neutrality if all of your foundations get money from the state budget and the AfD, they don't get it. You know, I mean, right now, if we look at the current polls, for example, for the coming elections, you can see the AfD will approximately get twice as much votes as it did last time, 2021. And it's a really big party. Yeah. And of course, there are a lot of taxpayers that pay taxes that vote this party. So out of their pocket, the foundations of other parties gets financed, but not from the AfD. Well, some would regard this as not being really democratic, if you ask me. So the highest Supreme Court said, hey guys, you have to make a law that gives all of them the same chance. So you know what their law was now that they made? They made a law that especially prohibits the AfD from receiving these funds. It's totally insane. For example, they said, well, if the foundation wants also to receive some of this state money, they have to be in the Congress for at least 3 periods. But the AfD is only there for 2 periods right now. So, that's so sad. You cannot receive those funds. And then there was this other issue from the FDP, from this small party, because they were outside of Congress also for 4 years. So that would mean that they wouldn't receive the funds. But you know, they had like this small point in the law where they said, well, if you've gotten like funding like before, but then at some point you were outside Congress, but now you're back in, then it's okay. Then you'll get the money. You see, so this law was especially made to exclude the foundation that's near the AfD to receive any money. So this is what they call democracy. And this, guys, is just one example of many, many others. Let's look at another one. For example, our media, the öffentlich-rechtlicher Rundfunk, it's called. This is not directly a state media, but a lot of politicians, they are basically sitting on the board of these media, and they are receiving money directly from the taxpayer. It's up to, I think, around 10 billion euros every year, and you have to pay it. If in Germany you don't pay this money to them, then you actually go to jail. There have been examples of people going actually to jail because of this. So it's not like a Netflix account or like your Amazon Prime account. You say, I don't want to watch this crap anymore. I just cancel my account, and then you don't get it. No, you have to pay. And also every business in Germany also has to pay. I have a couple of businesses in Germany, and every single business has to pay for this, even if you don't watch it. So basically you would expect, and this is also actually written in all of the contracts, that they have to be political neutral. And well, let's look at this. This is like a small study. And this shows how often representatives and members of Congress of the parties were invited to like the biggest talk shows. Yeah. And you can see that this is like totally bonkers. The CDU, they have like the most, then the SPD, so this is the party from Scholz, then the Greens, then the FDP, which is actually a lot smaller than the AfD, and even the BSV, that's like the new socialist kind of party, and the leftist, like the old socialists. And the AfD had only 12 members in the talk shows during the entire year of 2024. And then you see this is the actual current representation in the democracy, so in the voters. You can see the AfD has 5 times as many voters right now than the FDP, but still their positions is totally switched around. Look at this. And also the same here, the leftists, for example, they will probably not even make it into Congress because you need 5% in Germany to make it. Sometimes they made it because of some other law, but it's pretty possible that they won't even make it. But still, they get like twice as much coverage as the AfD in the media. Even though that in the contracts, it's called Medienstaatsvertrag, it states explicitly that these offers and these news media that are funded by German citizens have to be politically neutral. This is the second example. And we have so many examples. I could make a video 5 hours long, just like out of my head, not thinking about a lot of different aspects. 5 hours just with all kinds of examples like this that prove basically that, Elon Musk is sort of right with his statement. Because what's going on right now is not really democratic, if you ask me. Speaking about democracy, let's get to our third example. It's called Demokratie Live or Democracy Alive. Demokratie Leben. So this is like also from a ministry in German. You can see the Bundesministerium für Familie, Senioren, Frauen and Jugend. That's one of those ministries that Javier Milei would say, afuera! So what they do is like they have a lot of programs which they call Democracy Alive, or which mean that their definition of democracy is that you always have to help people out about democracy. People are pretty much a little bit too stupid to think on their own. So all of them, they have to help people making the right choices in democracy. So there are a lot of projects and a lot of so-called NGOs that get funding through the government. So I always ask the pretty simple question, how non-government are you? Which is what's in your name, NGO. The G stands for government and the N stands for non, so non-government. If you're so non-government, then prove it and don't accept funding from the government. But there are a lot of foundations that receive money directly from different ministries, not only this BMFSFJ whatever, but also, for example, from Habeck's Ministry of Economy. And what they actually do, those projects, well, they sort of kind of fight the opposition. They fight the AfD. They have a lot of studies they do projects against the AfD. Like, last weekend, the AfD had their political party day where they do their internal elections, where they officially nominated Alice Weidel for being the candidate for being chancellor, and like all of the party internal stuff. And you know what? Every party in Germany is required by law, by our constitution, to make these internal party days where they do these kinds of things and have their decisions. And the AfD, they get blocked, or at least a lot of protesters and a lot of projects that also get funded directly or indirectly through these kinds of NGOs that get funded by the government. They try to block the AfD from hosting their conferences where they just abide by the law. And this is going on basically every day in Germany. And these are just 3 examples, guys. I have a lot more I can share if you want, but I just wanted to talk about this because, a lot of people from the opposition in Germany, they talk about this all the time. And we are so fortunate that we have people from around the world listening and are being interested in this, because what's happening here is basically huge scandals, one after another, every single day. And I am sick and tired of them.